Hello, everyone. Welcome back to EMA English Daily. I'm Ema, and today we're going to learn English through a fun and natural conversation.
And I'm Jack. If you're new here, welcome. We talk about real-life topics, and while we chat, we explain useful English words and expressions in a simple way.
That's right. It feels like you're listening to two friends talking, and at the same time, you're improving your English without studying from a grammar book.
Exactly. No difficult lessons and no long vocabulary lists. Just real conversations that help you speak English more naturally.
Today's topic is very exciting. We're talking about the 2026 FIFA World Cup. The tournament is happening now, so it's the perfect time to talk about it.
Yes, people all over the world are watching the matches. Today, we'll share our thoughts about the teams, the exciting moments, and some useful English you can use when talking about sports or giving your opinion.
And don't worry if you don't watch football very often. Many of today's words and expressions are useful in everyday English too.
Before we begin, please like this video and subscribe to EMA English Daily if you enjoy learning with us. It really helps our channel grow, and we truly appreciate your support.
Thanks so much. Now, let's get started. So, Jack, how was your weekend?
Oh, I think you're about to tell me something funny. What happened?
Well, my brother invited some friends and family to his house to watch a World Cup match together. I told everyone that I would bring the snacks.
That sounds like a great plan. So, did everything go well, or is there a funny story waiting for us?
I arrived almost an hour late because I got lost and the weather was so hot that all my chocolate snacks melted. When I finally got there, everyone was already cheering at the TV.
Oh no! And the worst part is that you missed the only goal of the whole match. You were sitting in traffic with melted snacks while everyone else celebrated.
Exactly. I smiled and said, "Wow, what an amazing goal," even though I never saw it. Everyone looked at me strangely and I knew they didn't believe me.
That's actually a funny and very human reaction. I watched 2 matches this weekend, and I really enjoy games where nobody knows who will win until the final minute.
Me too. That exciting feeling keeps me watching. And during the World Cup, people suddenly become friendly. Even neighbors I hardly know invite me to watch matches together.
I love that about the World Cup. People from different countries can enjoy the same match together, even if they don't speak the same language. Football really connects people.
That's why today's conversation is useful. Even if you're not a football fan, you'll learn simple English for sharing opinions, making predictions, and talking about exciting events.
So let's begin with a simple question. The World Cup is the biggest football tournament in the world, and it happens every 4 years with national teams from many countries.
This year's tournament is extra special because 3 countries are hosting it together. The matches are taking place across many different cities in the USA, Mexico, and Canada.
That's right. And there's another big change too. Instead of only 32 teams, there are now 48 teams. So more countries have the chance to play on the world's biggest stage.
Jack, you said the USA, Mexico, and Canada are hosting the World Cup. What does host really mean? Is it the same as hosting a party at home?
Yes, exactly. To host means to organize an event and welcome people. These 3 countries are holding the matches, providing the stadiums, and welcoming teams and fans.
That makes sense. So if my friend hosts a birthday party, she plans everything and invites everyone to her house.
Perfect example. Now, before any team can play in the World Cup, it must qualify. Teams play many matches over a few years to earn a place in the tournament.
So teams can't just join because they want to. They have to prove they are good enough, and I guess that makes reaching the World Cup feel very special.
Exactly. Some countries wait many years before they qualify, so when they finally succeed, players and fans celebrate together, and many people even cry with happiness.
I've seen those celebrations online. The streets are full of happy people singing, dancing, and waving flags. It feels like the whole country is celebrating together.
That's right. When the tournament begins, all 48 teams have already earned their place. Then the competition starts with the group stage, not every team playing each other.
So each team plays only a few matches in its group, and the best teams continue while the others are eliminated. That sounds much faster and more exciting.
Yes, and after that comes the knockout stage. Every match is very important because if you lose once, your tournament is finished. There are no second chances.
So it's really win or go home. I can even use that in daily life. If I don't study for tomorrow's exam, it's basically win or go home.
Exactly. And here's another useful word, underdog. An underdog is a team or person that most people think will lose because they have less experience or a weaker record.
Exactly. That smaller team is called the underdog, and people love cheering for underdogs because it feels amazing when a team that nobody believed in surprises everyone.
I feel the same. We also use underdog outside sports. Someone who starts a business with very little money but later becomes successful is a great underdog story.
I like that word because it isn't only about football. You can use it when talking about work, movies, school, or anyone who succeeds after facing many difficulties.
That's right. Now, the opposite of an underdog is the favorite. A favorite is a team or person that most people believe will win because they are usually very strong.
So, famous teams are often called the favorites before a tournament begins, and many fans expect them to reach the final and maybe even win the whole competition.
Exactly. But sometimes the underdog beats the favorite, and that surprise is called an upset. It means something unexpected happens in a match.
That's an interesting word because upset also means feeling sad or annoyed, so the meaning changes depending on the situation, and that can confuse English learners.
You're right. If I say I'm upset, I'm talking about my feelings. But if I say that was a huge upset, I mean the weaker team shocked everyone by winning.
Let me try. When my little cousin beat me at chess, it was a complete upset because everyone thought I would win easily.
Perfect. Now let's talk about tied matches. During the group stage, if both teams finish with the same score, the result is called a draw, and the tournament continues.
But in the knockout stage, one team must win, so what happens if the score is still a draw after all the extra playing time is finished?
Then the match goes to a penalty shootout, where players take penalty kicks to decide the winner. It's exciting to watch, but it always makes me feel nervous.
I feel the same. During a penalty shootout, players take turns kicking the ball at the goal, and the team that scores more penalties wins the match. My heart always beats so fast.
Mine too. Penalty shootouts are so exciting and stressful that many fans say they can hardly watch because their hands get sweaty and they become really nervous.
Let's talk about something happier. When people sing, cheer, and clap together in a stadium, is there a simple English word for that amazing feeling?
Yes, that feeling is called the atmosphere. It means the mood or energy in a place. A stadium with happy fans can have an incredible atmosphere.
I love that word. Even when I watch a match at home with friends or hear my neighbors cheering outside, the atmosphere feels exciting and full of energy.
Now let's learn how to share opinions. You can begin with, in my opinion, or if you ask me, and these expressions sound friendly and very natural.
For example, if you ask me, penalty shootouts are the most stressful part of football, and I almost can't breathe while watching them.
That's a strong opinion. If you agree with someone, you can simply say, totally, same, or I couldn't agree more. Native speakers use these all the time.
And if I don't agree, I can say, I see what you mean, but I think, or I'm not so sure about that. It sounds polite and keeps the conversation friendly.
Exactly. Imagine two friends talking. One says, I think the favorite will win easily. And the other replies, maybe, but I think the underdog could surprise everyone.
Then the first friend smiles and says, we'll see. It would be a huge upset if that happened. And the second friend says, that's why I'm so excited to watch.
See how natural that sounds? It's just a simple conversation between friends, but it teaches useful English that you can use every day, not only when talking about football.
If you ask me, one of the strong teams will probably win because they have great players, lots of experience, and they always perform well in big tournaments.
Maybe, but I always support the underdog because it's much more exciting when a team that nobody expects to win surprises the whole world.
I would love to see a country win the World Cup for the very first time. The celebrations would be unforgettable, and the atmosphere would be full of happiness.
That would be amazing, and it reminds me of another useful word, legacy. A legacy is something valuable that remains even after the event has ended.
So, when a country hosts the World Cup, its legacy could be new stadiums, more young people playing football, and many good changes that last for years.
Exactly. The World Cup is not only about winning a trophy, it can also leave a strong legacy that people remember and enjoy for a very long time.
Now, let's learn another useful word, rivalry. It means a long and emotional competition between two teams or even two people who always want to beat each other.
That's right. Rivalry also happens in families. My dad supports one team, my uncle supports another, and every World Cup match turns dinner into a big argument.
That sounds more dramatic than the football match itself. Sometimes the biggest competition is between family members sitting around the same dinner table.
Exactly. Now, here's a quick review. If a small team beats a powerful champion and nobody expected it, what do we call that surprising result?
That's called an upset. It happens when the weaker team wins against the favorite, and everyone is shocked because they expected a different result.
Perfect. You're learning these words naturally through conversation. Now, let's slow down and review today's most useful words and expressions so they're easy to remember.
Great. Now let's review today's words one more time. I'll ask the questions, and speaker 2 will explain everything with easy examples so you can remember them better.
Our first word is host. To host means to organize an event and welcome people. For example, the USA, Mexico, and Canada are hosting the World Cup, and my sister is hosting a dinner this weekend.
Now it's your turn. Has your city or country ever hosted a big event? Think about it and try answering in English.
Next is qualify. It means earning your place by doing well first. A team qualifies for the World Cup by winning enough matches, and the student can qualify for a scholarship with good grades.
Have you ever qualified for something, like a competition, a job, or a special program? Try making your own sentence with the word qualify.
Now let's look at the group stage. This is the first part of the tournament where teams play several matches inside small groups before the best teams move forward.
Do you enjoy the group stage, or do you like the later matches when every game becomes more serious and much more exciting?
After that comes the knockout stage. In this part, one loss means you're out of the tournament, so every match feels important and full of pressure.
Have you ever faced a real win or go home moment in your life? Maybe in an exam, an interview, or an important competition? Tell us your answer.
Next is underdog. An underdog is someone who isn't expected to win, while the favorite is the person or team that most people believe will win because they are stronger.
Which do you usually support, the favorite or the underdog? And who is your favorite team to win this World Cup? We'd love to hear your opinion.
Another useful word is upset. In sports, an upset happens when a weaker team beats a stronger one. A draw means both teams finish with the same score and nobody wins.
Finally, remember penalty shootout. It decides the winner after a tied knockout match, and it's always exciting, stressful, and impossible to stop watching. I always feel nervous during a penalty shootout. What about you? Do you enjoy all that pressure, or does it make your heart race too?
Our next word is atmosphere. It means the feeling or energy in a place. A stadium full of cheering fans has an amazing atmosphere, and even a busy cafe can have a warm atmosphere.
Think about your own life. Where have you felt the best atmosphere? Maybe at a football match, a concert, a family party, or even at school with your friends.
Now let's learn rivalry. A rivalry is a long competition between two teams or people who always want to beat each other, but sometimes it's just friendly and fun. Maybe you have a friendly rivalry with your brother, your best friend, or a coworker. Try making one simple English sentence using the word rivalry.
Our final word is legacy. A legacy is something good that remains after an event is over, like better stadiums, happier communities, or inspiring young people to play football.
So, what kind of legacy do you hope this World Cup will leave? We hope it brings people together and inspires more children to enjoy sports around the world.
Great job! We've learned many useful words today, including host, qualify, group stage, knockout stage, underdog, favorite, upset, draw, penalty shootout, atmosphere, rivalry, and legacy.
We also practice natural English for giving opinions, agreeing politely, disagreeing kindly, and having real conversations, because that's how English is used every day.
Remember, you don't have to understand every single word. If you learned even a few new expressions today, you're already making real progress, so keep going.
Now, we'd love to hear from you. Which team do you think will win the World Cup? Or which new English word from today's lesson was your favorite? Write your answer in the comments.
Thanks for learning with us on EMA English Daily. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and keep practicing one simple English sentence every day. See you next time.